Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today we're working on the one that I thought looked like antlers. Remember that? That was kind of fun. This is number 66102 on friendshipbracelets.net. And this was fun. I enjoyed this one. Like, I don't enjoy making all the bracelets I do. Um, but this was a lot of fun. It's just three colors. They're not done evenly. There's like two of the lightest one, uh, two of the middle one, and then the rest are darks. And there's what? There's 16 strings coming down. So 8 going into the kumi. Well, I doubled the string, so it's 16 strands going into my kumi. So that works out perfectly. Turns out really nice. Um, it starts out with that kind of, every other one thing is a little bit shaky compared to what I usually like. I like having at least a couple nice straight rows to kind of get it going. Um, but it is what it is. It gives it a look, and that's sort of fine. The way that they loop over the top of like the bulk of the strings and then go into the knots sort of makes it look a little bit longer, which is cool. It gives it a nice look on it. Um, Yeah, I really, there's not anything I can truly complain about here. Um, it's not a beginner bracelet at all. It just isn't. But that's okay. I mean, they can't all be right. And, but it's not super advanced. There was not a lot of, um, having to recheck where I am in the pattern as I'm going along or freaking out about stuff or any of that kind of nonsense, which is partly probably why I enjoyed it so much. There's not a lot of repetition. Um, it's like I finally get around to doing this like diamond part here, and then there's only two more of those, right? There's only two times that antler thing. Again, I think it looks like an antler. I don't know what you guys might envision that to be. It could be, it's whatever your imagination wants to give it, I guess. Um, could be keys. I've seen that sort of thing. Wasn't there like a Netflix show about a family of keys or something? That it could be that. I could see that. Like the skeleton key thing. I don't know. Again, it's whatever you want to let your imagination run with. Um, Again, I tried, if you watch how like I did the diamonds and stuff, I really tried to approach it in the most efficient way possible. And, kind of messing around with that was sort of fun, trying to find how to how to make that kind of work. That was kind of neat. Um, I think I do the antlers things, the first one and the second one differently. And part of that was the first time I brought the two yellows to the middle and then worked it out. And the second time I'm like, well, I can make that be a one long row if I work out, like the right side first. I can then bring the left all the way down, and that would technically be more efficient. And I was like, you know what? I got to do it because, that's kind of, I talk about it and whatever. So, yeah. Um, I didn't have any real problems with string usage, although I can say that when it came to the lightest ones, which is almost like a yellow green here, um, two of those were much longer than the other two, and that you can kind of imagine that being the thing where two of the strands just make up like the little parts, and then two of the strands are like coming in and doing long bits with it. So of course that didn't get used evenly. Of course, I wouldn't like when it comes to that, I wouldn't cut the two lengths, different lengths, um, just to try to, save a little bit or whatever. I don't think that really helps. I do know that there are people that do that sort of thing, and I don't I don't know if you're really saving your. I think if anything, I think it would make me more stressed. I would be more fearful of if I didn't make my calculations right or I put them in the wrong order when I'm arranging them at the top or something. I think it would just give me a lot more stress than I would honestly want. So, but if that's your thing, you know, tell me in the comments, explain to me how that helps you because I am curious. I know that my method is a little bit more wasteful. Like when I get done making my tassel, well, the whole braided ends and stuff, the amount of string that I throw away is more than it has to be. However, when I get to the end, I had no worries about running out of anything. And I've used those skeins pretty thoroughly. Like because I cut it in thirds, everything is used on the spot. I don't end up with weird lengths left over that I can't use for anything. So, like if I needed, let's say, 8 strands, right? And I cut in thirds, that's, two skeins will take care of 6, and then the third skein will take care of 2 more. That'll leave me with 1. I still have a third of a skein left that I can put onto a bobbin I set aside, and that becomes future projects. So I'm utilizing everything really potentially efficiently because I know that that third that's set aside will be the size I need, whatever that project is in the future. So that's how I approach it. Um, I used to back some years ago. I used to do it in quarters. The thing about cutting your strings in quarters, which is about 2 meters long, is your pattern has to be where all the strings get used evenly, or else you will run out. It's just how it works. And at some point, I decided I wanted to be able to do more patterns than just what I could do with the strings evenly. And that's when I made the conscious decision to change from quarter length to 1/3 length. So again, with the quarter length, I was able to make a lot of stuff. And as far as efficiency went, that was very good. That was actually kind of awesome. But it it limited how creative I could be. And that if let's say you are impoverished and you really want to make bracelets, you're trying to do it, you're trying to, make money or whatever, then the quarter length makes sense. You can find a lot of patterns out there available that will work for that. And yeah, go for it. This probably would not be one of those patterns. Uh, so, yeah, that's just my approach. Hopefully that helps somebody out there. Because like I know I talk a lot and I give a lot of like why I do things and whatever. My genuine hope is that somebody listening will, pick up on this and be like, oh yeah, this helps me. And, you know, if whether or not it's, um, how you're going to cut your strings or how to be most efficient or how to be most comfortable at doing a pattern or what motivates you to get a pattern done, you know, all these aspects of bracelet making, um, I feel like I've experienced many, 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 many times. And I hope that I make it fun for you guys. I hope you guys, find the joy in it that I get from this. Because honestly, I, even if I go on a vacation, I like to bring string along in case I get to a point where I'm just hyper or whatever and I need to calm down and I just need something to help make me feel better, I will pick up the string. So it's it's something very, very special to me. And yeah, I kind of hope that you guys find it to be special as well. Or, you know, if whatever it is that brings you to this and has you here watching this, I hope I can in some way help inspire you to can keep going and keep having fun with it. Because at the end of the day, we should be having fun, you know? Honestly believe that. So, hey, check it out. We are past the halfway point. So, because these videos end abruptly, I need to go and take this moment to thank my Patreon supporters who make doing these tutorials and these make videos and stuff possible. Um, String doesn't grow on tree. Well, it kind of grows on a tree. Well, I still have to buy the string, regardless of how it grows. So I do need their help, and I really do appreciate the uh, the just just knowing that there are people out there who are willing to make this contribution to help keep me going. Also, really does help to keep me going because, um, yeah, I mean, if if nobody was enjoying this, I would just go off and do it by myself. But obviously, you guys are here. You guys are watching this, you know. So thank you to you guys too, right? You don't have to give me money for me to be appreciative. Just being here is very special. So thank you guys as well. All right. So now we are going in to the next antler area, which is hilarious. Like, how quickly is this going, right? I mean, it just, you get to a diamond, then you go into this big antler thing, and then another diamond, and boom, you're right into the last antler thing. It's just cool, right? I don't know. That's kind of, and I think when it's a pattern like that, like those, I do kind of get a bit more of a kick out of just because of the fact that it's like, oh wow, you know, it it just seems like, wow, I'm suddenly so far along, and all I got to do is, you know, whatever the thing is, like this is like the half a diamond on the side, and then, you know, it's mind trickery because it's just as many knots as doing something as repetitive like yesterday's, right? You know, that whole zigzag thing. It's the same knots. Well, that one actually is a skinnier bracelet. It felt harder. It felt more intense than this one. So yeah, it's just how it plays with your mind. Mind you, I think we're going to redo this one. I'm going to put the antlers in the middle, and then essentially I'm going to make it a it's either a, well, I was going to say it's another my take, but this is almost more of a like meshing two patterns together. So I'm not sure how I will title it, um, but I want to do something because for me it's sort of a little bit easier to come off of the diamond as opposed to the V to break into something else. You know, like going into like an arrowhead or something. I think that's what I want to do with it. I really do. I think I just want it to go into an arrowhead after it does this thing in the middle. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking about. That's kind of I haven't written it down or pulled up all the stuff that I do on my computer to make the tutorial yet. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what's kind of cooking in the brain here. That like sometimes I'll have like a week where I'm like, oh, I'm doing blindsided creations, and I have to put off ideas like this for later. I don't think I have anything lined up, and so I get to kind of pick what I want to do, and that's kind of what I want to do. I really want to see this thing done differently. So yeah, I think I'm going to put that in the mix. Don't think I don't think I have enough skeins to do it in the same color. I wonder. Eh, I'll look at it. I will take a look and see whether or not that's a possibility. Um, because that might be kind of fun too to be able to to compare them. We'll see. I don't know. So yeah, this now brings us down to our last little diamond. It just blows my mind. It felt faster. I know it's not. I know for a fact it's not. Um, it's that feeling of going faster that is really nice. I don't. Oh, and again, if like there, I could have done a little zigzag with the like the dark green. I could have came out and back. If I didn't need to do that, I didn't. Just in case you're wondering, you're looking at this and how you want to approach it. Um, you don't have to, obviously, like in that case. There's obvious times where you do have to, when the yellow green comes down and changes directions, you obviously have to. But yeah, when I didn't need to, I didn't. So, yep, this is the approach to the end, the last little diamond thing. At speed, the sad part is you can't tell. Like I at this point am super worked up. Like I know I'm near the end. I know that I don't have to, worry about anything. Like it's almost over, because sometimes like I worry about like I have to break the video into parts. Um and but at this point I'm like, nope, nope, just rush to the end. We got this. It's funny. So like my hands are like woohoo. So yeah. Yeah, this is just even watching it, I'm kind of getting that feeling in my head, like, ooh, almost there. So good. So, all right, guys. I really do appreciate guys hanging out with me this long. This has been a fun one. And you know, I think we got some more videos like this for tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully come back and check that out. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.